One of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season is finally here, but will it actually be a good game? That's what we're here to break down today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, ready to talk about number 3 Texas, number 10 Michigan at the Big House. A thrilling non-conference matchup that was very close to being last year's national championship game. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and continue to check out everything down in the description below, including our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country for one of the lowest prices in the entire country. We are beating out over 80% of the national handicappers, have done so each of the last 6 years. We're going to make it 7 by the end of this year, and we want you to take advantage of those picks. Go sign up for those today. Our Week 2 college football picks and Week 1 NFL picks have already been posted, so go sign up and become a member of our GE Nation to start winning big with us today. Winning big, that's a $1 million question, right? Will it be Texas? Will it be Michigan? A lot of people seem to be favoring the Longhorns heading in to Saturday's matchup because of a relatively lackluster performance from Michigan. The Wolverines defeating Fresno State 30-10 in their season opener. Texas beating Colorado State 52-0. But we always say, don't necessarily judge a team based on what you see in Week 1. Week 2 is typically a better measuring stick. Take a little bit of Week 1, but Week 2 is really where we learn a lot about these teams. We'll start with Texas, though. Take a look at their offense. The Longhorns, look, they own the clear edge. There is no debating that. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the entire conference in Quinn Ewers, who had 260 yards and 3 touchdowns last week, and he did that with a pretty much brand new core of pass catchers. A lot of young pass catchers, a lot of transfer pass catchers coming into Austin, and they look like they've been playing together for years. Guys like Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden, Ryan Wingo, and many more, they all gelled very quickly into this Texas offense and gelled very quickly with Quinn Ewers. 545 yards of offense, 355 of those coming through the air. They lose their star running back, C.J. Baxter, during the offseason. That didn't really matter entering this game. Jarrett Gibson and Jaden Blue both combined for 124 rushing yards, and that's going to be an interesting storyline in this game. Can Texas maintain some sort of balance like they had against Colorado State against this Michigan defense? That's going to be key. We know Texas wants to throw the ball. They're very good at throwing the ball, but they don't need to be one-dimensional on the road in Ann Arbor. Take a look at Michigan, though. They've got concerns on offense. There is no doubt about that. There were concerns all offseason, and there were definitely concerns now after watching them play against Fresno State. The question for them is quarterback. They really don't have great quarterback play. New head coach Sharon Moore chose to start Davis Warren last week against the Bulldogs. Warren throwing for just 118 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Alex Orji, many thought he might be the starter going into the game, only had 2 pass attempts on the day. Obviously more efficient as a runner, used a lot in design quarterback runs, which is something they might do against the Longhorns on Saturday. But there's no quarterback on Michigan's roster right now that is going to compete with Quinn Ewers, that is better than Quinn Ewers, and no quarterback on the roster that really gives, I think, Wolverine fans a lot of hope offensively. They beat Fresno State 30-10, but it should be noted 16 of Michigan's 30 points came from either special teams or the defense. Obviously, that huge pick 6 at the end of the game that really sealed the deal. One of the best running backs in the country, or so we thought, Donovan Edwards, only had 27 rushing yards on the day on 11 carries, but that is getting overshadowed by the fact that Khalil Mullings did have 92 yards on the day. So everybody wants to point fingers. Donovan Edwards played terrible. Oh, they couldn't run the ball. Well, Mullings had a pretty solid day, 92 yards. Edwards not too great, but Michigan did have a decent rushing day against this Fresno State defense. But the $1 million question is, can the Michigan offense match that of Texas? Can the Michigan offense keep up with Texas? Or will they even need to do that if their defense can come through and contain that Longhorns offense? And we're going to touch more on the defense here in 1 second. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. We've got a new sponsor for the show this season, Chris Gates Fitness, in his online fitness training camp. Training Camp is a monthly fitness program designed specifically for football fans, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before. With hundreds of different workouts and exclusive content such as the calorie calculator and, my personal favorite, the low-calorie, high-protein tailgating cookbook, Training Camp is a must for any football fan looking to get or stay in shape. With Chris as your coach, you'll get top-notch guidance. He's been coaching people online since 2018, and like all of you watching, he's a die-hard football fan. His clients consistently get results by implementing a flexible approach to diet and exercise. So if you're interested in getting brand new workout programs every month, fitness challenges every month to push you to develop healthy habits, challenges within the training camp community like weekly football pick'ems, access to live Q&As where you can get direct, personalized support from Chris with your health and fitness, and the support of a community of people there to encourage you every step of the way, you need to visit chrisgatesfitness.com/Gridiron Expert, the link down in the description below. Learn more, sign up today, and use our promo code GRIDIRON to get your first month for just $10. So before the break, we said, would Michigan even need to play lights out on offense if the defense does their job? And that's the thing, right? Michigan has one of the best defenses in the country. There is no disputing that. That was the case last year. That is going to be the case again this year. This defense held Fresno State to just 9 rushing yards on Saturday, 9 rushing yards on 22 attempts. They allowed 235 passing yards, which isn't great, but did force 2 interceptions, including that huge pick six by Will Johnson to really put the game away late in the fourth quarter. They had 3 sacks on the day, 6 tackles for a loss. The defensive line, the front 7 really, but especially the defensive line, is still very, very strong. And they're going to force Texas to win this game through the air. They're going to force Texas to rely on Quinn Ewers, which there could be a lot worse things in the world. Quinn Ewers, relying on him, I would be fine doing that. But I don't expect Texas to have a massive day running the ball. But more than anything, the Michigan secondary is going to have to deliver, and they're going to have to find a way to create opportunities for their offense. Maybe it is a defensive touchdown. Maybe it is setting up their offense with favorable field position because of some sacks, because of some turnovers. But the defense has to do more than just making Texas one-dimensional. They've got to find a way to pressure them into mistakes. The Texas defense, meanwhile, I think they get overshadowed. The Longhorns have a very underrated defense. And I know it was just Colorado State, but the Rams were a team that averaged over 300 passing yards per game last year. They returned their quarterback. They returned a 1,000-yard wide receiver. And yet the Texas defense held Colorado State to just 74 passing yards on the day and shut them out. They forced 2 interceptions, but had 0 sacks. So the pressure wasn't really there. Didn't really create much pressure on the Rams, which is a bit of a concern. That's something that I would like to see Texas do. If they want to win this game, they're going to have to rattle whoever's under center for Michigan, whether it's Warren, whether it's Orji, whether it's somebody else. Whoever's under center for Michigan is going to be playing in the biggest game of their career, going to be starting in the biggest game of their career because neither of them has had much playing time behind J.J. McCarthy. This is a Texas defense, though, that if I'm Steve Sarkisian, if I'm looking at this game, I'm saying Michigan can't beat us through the air. Michigan cannot win by throwing the ball. They are not going to win by throwing the ball. So let's stack the box, load the box, and force them to throw. If they can slow down the Michigan run game, which had its moments last week but wasn't as great as it's been in years past, and granted it was just week 1, if they can stop the Michigan run game and force them to try to win the game through the air, Texas has this game in the bag. Sell out on the run if you are Texas. Force Michigan to air it out. And if they do that, I don't think it's going to go well for the Wolverines. So what's going to happen, guys? A top 10 showdown in the Big House Saturday morning. Wish this was a primetime night game, but of course it's the big noon kickoff, so we got the 11 a.m. game on Saturday. This game, to me, feels eerily similar to the Texas game against Alabama last year. I mean, think about it. Week 2 of the season, on the road for the Longhorns against a team that has national title aspirations, but has many questions on the offensive side of the ball. Last year for Texas, they went into Tuscaloosa. The Crimson Tide were still trying to figure out who their quarterback was going to be. They went with Jalen Milroe. Didn't really pan out very well for them in that game. Milroe did not have a great game. Looked nothing like he did towards the end of the season in 2023. Texas ultimately won 34-24, outgaining the Crimson Tide by nearly 100 yards, 454 to 362, had 349 passing yards on the day. They had to really rely heavily on Quinn Ewers, and he delivered. And I think that's exactly what happens here. On the road against a Michigan team that hasn't figured it out offensively, the Wolverines struggle offensively, but their defense keeps Texas in check. They have a couple big breakout plays, though, through the passing game from Quinn Ewers and this new core of wide receivers. The Longhorns come through in Ann Arbor. We predicted this back in the summer. We're not changing it now. Texas wins this game by at least a touchdown shows why they are one of the best teams in the country, and Michigan will certainly be left searching for more answers as they prepare to enter the bulk of their conference slate. So guys, there you have it. One of the best games of the year, or at least one of the most anticipated games of the year, and we're going with Texas. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's gear up for the game this Saturday. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of those exclusive expert picks. We want you to take advantage of those, some of the best picks in the country for one of the lowest prices in the entire country. You do not want to miss out. We can promise you that. You will win big with us, just like we have each of the last 6 years. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.